I was kneeling on the icy hardwood floor, holding my grandfather's freezing hand, when his eyelids fluttered open just long enough to whisper the words that changed everything. "Help me get revenge." For a moment, I wasn't a Marine. I was just a granddaughter, staring at a man who had been abandoned like an unwanted piece of furniture. His breath came out in faint white clouds. The house felt like the inside of a refrigerator. And that note, God, that stupid note, was still sitting on the kitchen counter like some kind of cruel joke. That's where the truth began for me. But the story didn't start there. It started a few hours earlier. I got home for Christmas just after dusk. My boots crunched against the driveway. My duffel bag hung heavy over my shoulder. I was still in my Marine winter uniform. Collar tight, ribbon straight, shoes polished enough to catch reflections. That uniform had been through deployments, through storms, through moments where I honestly didn't know if I'd live to see another Christmas. But nothing prepared me for what waited inside my childhood home. The first thing I noticed was the cold. Not chilly. Freezing. The kind of cold that bites through every layer you're wearing. I opened the door expecting warmth. Cinnamon candles. The hum of the heater. Maybe my mom yelling for me to take off my boots. Instead, my breath fogged the air the moment I stepped inside. Mom. Dad. Nothing. Not even an echo. I set my duffel on the carpet and walked farther in. The living room was dark. No Christmas tree. No decorations. No music. The house felt abandoned. Then I saw it. A single sheet of lined paper placed neatly on the counter. We went on a cruise. You take care of Grandpa. I read it once. Then again. Then a third time, because my brain refused to accept what my eyes were seeing. A cruise. At Christmas. Leaving Grandpa alone. I heard a sound. A faint, muffled groan. My training kicked in instantly. That's what the Marines teach you. Don't freeze. Don't think. Move. Grandpa, I called. Already running down the hallway. The closer I got to the guest room, the colder the air became. When I opened the door, the darkness felt wrong. Heavy. Like stepping into a basement during a storm. I flipped on the light, and my stomach dropped. Grandpa lay in bed wearing only his cardigan and flannel pants. No blankets. No heater. His hands were shaking violently. His skin was pale. Waxy. His lips were blue. I rushed to his side, cupping his face. He was ice cold. Memories slammed into me all at once. Him teaching me to fish. Him clapping the loudest at my boot camp graduation. Him mailing handwritten letters during my first deployment. This man who never once forgot my birthday had been left here to freeze. I ripped off my Marine winter coat and wrapped it around him. His body shuddered, then slowly eased. "Stay with me," I whispered. "I'm getting help." I called 911 and held his hand the entire time, talking to him the way I'd been trained to talk to wounded Marines. Steady. Calm. Grounding. When the ambulance arrived, red lights flashing against the snow, the EMTs took one look at him and went silent. "How long was he like this?" one muttered. They loaded him gently onto the stretcher. I climbed into the ambulance without asking. I wasn't leaving him again. At the hospital, under harsh fluorescent lights, they worked on him. Warm IV fluids, oxygen, heated blankets. A nurse leaned toward me and whispered, "He's lucky you found him." Another few hours. She didn't finish the sentence. I didn't need her to. Anger burned in my chest. My parents had packed their bags, turned off the heat, and boarded a Christmas cruise. They didn't forget him. They chose convenience over his life. Hours later, Grandpa's breathing steadied. I sat beside him, gripping the arm of the chair. Then his eyes opened. Just barely. I leaned in. "They don't know about," he whispered. I swallowed. "About what, Grandpa?" He squeezed my hand with surprising strength. "Help me get revenge." And in that moment, I understood. Revenge didn't have to be loud or violent. It could be legal, patient, inevitable. The next day, Grandpa told me the truth. My parents had been siphoning his money, using his pension, cutting phone lines, turning off heat. They thought he was weak, confused. They didn't know about the documents, the wills, the deeds, the proof my grandmother had hidden. "They think they control everything," Grandpa said softly. "But they don't." I found the papers exactly where he said they'd be. And when I read them, my hands shook. This wasn't neglect. It was exploitation. When my parents came home from their cruise, they walked into a storm they never expected. They laughed, made excuses, until Grandpa walked into the room alive, standing, holding the truth in his hands. Their faces collapsed. Not from guilt, from fear. Because they finally understood something. They were no longer in control. In the end, no one screamed. No one hit anyone. There were lawyers, social workers, accountability. The house stayed warm. Grandpa stayed safe. And my parents lost something they'd never get back: their ability to pretend. Months later, Grandpa sat beside me in a warm living room. "You showed me something better than revenge," he said. "What's that?" I asked. "Truth," he said. "And courage." I thought about the people who might hear this story. People who were overlooked, neglected, silenced. And I want you to know this: being strong doesn't mean you don't hurt. It means you survive it. And sometimes, you come back stronger than anyone ever expected. Thank you for listening. If this story touched you, if it reminded you of someone you love, or if you believe more people need stories about truth and accountability, please subscribe. Your support helps these stories reach the people who need them most. And if you're carrying your own quiet battle, you're not alone.